Good afternoon, everyone. This is the meeting of the Board of Directors on the Council on Aging. Today is June 21st, 2021, and we're going to call it the meeting to order, and it's about 1:01. I would like everybody to introduce themselves, starting with Cindy, please.
I'm Cindy Currier. I'm the Director of the Council on Aging.
I'm Bill DeMail, one of the members of the Board of Directors.
I'm Joyce Maturis, the Chair of the Board of Directors.
Evelyn Noyes, I'm in charge of Vice. And Janine Cunningham, one of the Board of Directors.
Soon to change. All right, so we have quite an audience today. This is very different for us. So the first thing we're going to do is review and approve the minutes. And they're quite long, but hopefully everybody has read them. So in about 10 minutes or sooner, give me a hands up or when you can, and I'll ask for a vote.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of the meeting as presented.
I'll second that.
The meetings we will now vote on. I'm asking for a verbal vote on the minutes. Joyce, yay?
Yes.
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 Yes. Minutes were accepted. The election of officers is the next item on the agenda. Last meeting, we had a nomination of officers, and there was just one person for each position. So we're going to do a blanket on the first is Joyce Maturis as chair, Evelyn Noyes as vice chair, Jeannie Cunningham as secretary. And these will go into effect July 1st. Right now, our present terms go to June 30th. So I entertain a motion to vote for the election of the officers.
I'd make a motion to vote on the board, the slate as we presented it.
Thank you.
Second.
We'll do a personal vote on this case. Jeannie?
Yes.
Yes. Evelyn Noyes?
Yes.
Yes. So congratulations, everyone.
We didn't really have to fight much for the positions.
No.
So many to choose from.
So now we're going to look, I think everybody has seen it or has it with them. It's the floor plan for the Council on Aging, which Cindy had a lot to do with Jeff from Context Architecture. And at the time it was being done, the expansion committee was also there. And we would like now, it's all preliminary, it's going to change, I'm sure, but we would just like a vote on record that we are approving the preliminary floor plan of the Council on Aging.
Question, please.
Yes.
Did you see a copy of the floor plan you're about to vote on?
Sure, come on up. So we came prepared. But I don't think I'm going to interrupt the meeting afterwards, because I'm not sure if that.
Somebody else wants one.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's continue.
Jim, can I just make a point?
Absolutely, Jim.
On June 15th of 2020, you and Evelyn and Sandy Smalls gave a report to the Board of Selectmen what you thought the space, what the issues were with space,
Right.
the Council on Aging.
Right.
So I think it's important that you make a point that says that the proposed layout, the space, as documented as you just passed out, meets the criteria of what you folks said the issues were.
But I can't do that because, I know what you're saying, because Cindy actually did the designing of it, and she is the one that did it based on what she wanted. But it's much better than what we already have, so anything that comes up is better than, but you're looking for the exact
No,
words.
I agree with that. All I'm saying is, I want this board to vote that says the space needs as defined on that layout are acceptable to the board of directors.
Well, we're voting as the board of directors.
That's, I'm saying that, yes.
Oh, you see, you want that in
Only
the motion?
only the space needs as captured in that layout is acceptable to the board of directors.
Okay,
Okay?
I'll have you make the motion.
Okay.
Okay,
When it's time.
okay. Any discussion on the layout?
Leave another one, Ellen.
Yeah.
There's more over here.
Should, understanding that the space needs are met here, specifically speaking, the space needs only, no location of the space needs.
On this
Cannot be made clear.
That is on this vote. That
Well, it
is-
says Newbury Council on Aging and town offices. So I
Well,
would
we're
be,
not, we're voting on my, review and approve the preliminary floor plan of space for the Council on Aging. So there's two plans. There's one for this,
but I would argue, my only point being that these space needs can be met anywhere around town.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes.
That's the point.
we
Right,
made
is that what you
that,
want for, Bill?
we
It could
made
be a
that,
separate, it could be a separate building, it could be in your backyard.
No.
And we hope that people look at, we hope the planning board looks at
Right.
alternatives perhaps, okay?
that
So
was
you
the
don't
whole
go-
intent.
Don't get confused by the fact that it mentions,
Well, facts don't try to confuse.
I know that. I know that well.
Very good.
I mean, just because something happens to say High Road and Town Hall,
Right.
it's not in our lane as the board of directors to talk about that.
Right.
It's in our lane to say, this is what we think the Council on Aging needs for space. And how do we best fill that requirement, okay?
Where is a different subject.
Where is a different subject, and it's for probably the planning board and whatever gyration they go through.
You should make that clear.
Absolutely.
That was my intent when I first started this preamble
Make
about
that
what we're
clear.
voting on is space
You
needs.
should make that clear in your vote.
Yeah, understand.
Proposed concept.
How many square feet
Yeah.
total does this represent?
960, I think the final was on it. Wasn't it, Cindy, on our proposal?
I think it was around 9,000.
It's just under 10.
It's just under 10, 960, 9,600 is, I believe.
9,808.
Does that include the reception area and elevator? Does that include the reception area and elevator?
It does, and it also includes the town vault. It's in the rear. Yes, sir.
Are you going to take other questions before we vote or have any discussion from the audience?
I'm going to have a discussion here, but not from the audience to approve this plan. This is for the Council on Aging.
It's a motion.
My
Suggestion.
question though is,
Have everybody introduce themselves and give their address, so that they're on record.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tom, would you mind saying your full name and where you live?
Jim
Jim
Moran
Moran.
on Elm Street.
I'm sorry.
My thoughts are this, that if there's input from the audience that might have some relevance and bearing on your voting, it might be good to hear from them prior to the voting, and I believe there is. I'll be ready now, but again, I didn't want to stand up after the vote, and it's too late.
But this is preliminary. That hasn't even been discussed by the Board of Selectmen yet. Hi, Jerry, come in, please. So I am just,
I understand it also, but there is a vote to pass it on.
There's a
You
motion.
may vote it down and not pass it on, or you may vote it up and do pass it on.
I'm pretty sure we're going to vote it and pass it on. That was the whole purpose of this. I'm not speaking for the other members, but I'd like to continue with the meeting, please.
But this is a motion for a vote, correct?
Yes.
And it's being amended to bring in the articles that we just discussed.
I'm not amending anything on this.
Pardon?
I am not amending this.
No, not amending, but your fellow member has,
We're going to
It's a
change.
it's a clarification of what we're voting on,
that's correct.
okay?
Yes.
So do we continue the clarification?
No, I just want to continue the meeting. I don't see, I can't go all day here. People have to
Sure,
get
you
going.
can. That's what the meeting's for. to
Evelyn, what
discuss your
time do you
needs.
have to
Joyce,
leave?
why don't you just reread reread the motion?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to have you make an amendment to the motion or read the motion as to what you want to say on it, but it's to review and approve the preliminary floor plan of space for the Council on Aging by Contact Architecture dated March 26, 2021, presented at the Zoom meeting on April 6th. It was live on TV by Jeff Shaw of Contact Architecture. So, would you like to make the motion?
I'll make the motion, but I think you have to find out if people satisfied with the review, or you're going to conduct a review of just the board.
Just the board.
Because I sense from what Jim Moran said is, he may have some questions about the review
But
before we
he's not
vote.
on the board.
I understand that.
This is for the board to review.
Fine. I'll make a motion.
I've listened to people, but I can't continue with this. We've been doing this for a long time. Jerry, do you have any comments?
No.
On the motion, any questions?
No, I understand what the question is, but yet, I think they're jumping the gun.
That's what I've tried to tell
I
them.
think preliminary, we were supposed to approve,
Right,
and then send it out for everybody to look at.
exactly. And that's
We're-
what
we're
I had
simply
said
approving
from
this.
the beginning.
We're approving this to
The
be
picture.
presented to the board of
Okay, point of
selectmen.
order. There isn't an actual motion on the table yet.
I know that.
Okay,
I'm-
I'm trying to make sure I get the note.
Oh, really?
Are you ready? I'll
Yes.
try to speak slowly.
All right.
I make a motion that the Board of Directors of the Council on Aging approve the preliminary floor plan of space for the Council of Aging that was presented by Jeff Shaw, prepared by Jeff Shaw on March 26, 2021. Only the floor plan, no vote on location. That's my motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
Let's take our vote, please. I'll start with you, please.
Yes?
Yes. Evelyn?
Oh, okay, yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's unanimous, the vote. Thank you. Now, the next one. The proposed Newbury Council on Aging and Town Hall buildings. So this is for 25 High Road. There are two renderings. I'm not sure you've seen them. They're dated April 9th, 2021. There's the preliminary floor plans for the Council on Aging on the main level and the town offices on the upper level, and preliminary site plan dated March 26, 2021. All plans by Contact Architecture, and the vote will be taken for approval to move this proposal forward to the Board of Selectmen.
Chairman Gutierrez, I would like to amend that. I believe that the proposal of combining the town hall and council on aging needs more study and investigation, and I move the question be referred to a committee made up of the expansion committee, one board member, one selectman, and volunteers from the community. That this proposal you just gave be postponed until we can refer it to a committee for discussion.
I'm not sure of how this works because I've never had this happen to me before, but I'm going to ask, and others that are more familiar with the rules is, can we open this up for discussion?
You have to have a second first, and I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Evelyn, I appreciate your motion, but I would not vote for it. I feel it's going to separate the town hall and the actual council on aging being in the same building. I'm not sure if 25 High Road is the right place for it, but it's going to, in the long run, save a lot of money by condensing the two buildings together in one. I'm not done.
Okay.
The parking, we're not sure if that's a concern. You and I did some checking on that, and we're told that it wasn't, or it seemed feasible. Any other spot does not have the sewer and water right there to connect. Even if the other property has sewer and water, you have to run the piping to the new building, and it's only going to probably be the Council on Aging, because I really do not think the selectmen are going to want their town hall in another area than 25 High Road. That's the Newbury Town Hall, and then that's us to come in with them. So I hope you all understand what I'm saying. You probably not, because you've got it in your head that it's not good. I don't agree that we should pay rent. Every town should own their own town hall. Who ever heard of a town that pays rent? And this town...
City of Malden.
Well, good for them, but we don't want to. So anyways, I'm going to pass this on and let others give their opinion. This is just mine.
I'd like to respond. The reason for my asking for the postponement was because of what happened with the police station. We were 4 years back and forth with the police station. Maybe 25 High Road is the best answer for this, but I don't think the people that will be voting on this, I don't think they have enough questions answered. I think there are other sites that should be considered. Maybe they're not the right site, but at least let people contribute to the conversation and to the idea of where this Council on Aging does end up.
Evelyn, and all that, I got one thing to say. If we go in a different direction, it's going to just be the Council on Aging that's going to be looking to be built on. It's not going to be the town hall.
I don't know that. That's why I'd like a committee to investigate and to study.
We can have a committee, perhaps we can ask the selectmen, we can put an amendment on this and ask them if they would do this and do some research. But I don't want to hold this up. We've been waiting for years, and I want to continue. So I just want other people to comment. You've had your chance.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Jerry?
Well, I think if we decide to split this up and have this as an independent entity, we're going to be out 10 years before anybody even looks at it. One, financially, to me, it does not make any sense. And two, for the availability of the seniors to go to do other things at Town Hall, I think joining them makes perfect sense.
Thank you.
I just don't feel that we've vetted other areas enough. I just feel this is kind of the one and only option that we've seen an actual drawing of. So I feel like we haven't had an actual, vetting time through other pieces to see what it would look like and if they would really fit.
So it's not the cost?
Well, cost is always a factor, but I think if we do a little more research into stuff, I mean, nothing in town except for, the few areas that have water and power. I mean, anything we do in town is gonna cause some financial increase. But I just think we just haven't vetted.
All right, I'm not going to debate with anybody. I'm not going to debate with you or you or you. I'm just going to ask people for their opinion, and then we will take our vote.
I was giving my opinion when you interrupted.
That's what I said.
But you interrupted me. No,
I'm sorry.
that's
Okay,
fine.
continue. I will never interrupt
Nope.
you. Okay. Do you have an opinion?
I do. I do. First of all, I don't think that the board of directors is empowered to decide a location, whether it should be merged with the town hall, whether it should be at High Road, whether it should be near the land on Newbury Elementary School. I think within our lane, what we should say is the floor plan that's in this sketch, which happens to be done at 25 High Road, meets the space needs of the Council on Aging. And we serve this up, we approve this to the Board of Selectmen, so you can consider this as well as other locations by committee or whatever. It's their responsibility, not ours, to form a committee as a planning board to choose a location. So I don't think our amendment should suggest a committee or a board. So
I thought maybe we could add a request that they appoint a committee.
I think we should have a narrow vision that says, in terms of space needs, which is the only thing we can talk about, this would work, and you can consider this among any other options that you would consider. I think that's
So you're still leaving it in their hands?
It is in their hands.
Of course it is.
It's not in our hands.
No,
It's in
it's
the planning
not.
board and the select board.
And then the town?
And the voters. And
The
the voters,
voters.
exactly.
And if it ever does get approved, then it has to go on the ballot.
See what Jack would pick yes.
Yes, Jack?
Evening, Jack Vicky, 37 Larkin Road. For the record, are we on a Zoom meeting, or is this being recorded or broadcast at all? Or is this
It is being
I think
recorded.
it's recorded.
Okay, thank you.
It's live. I mean, it's not
Not
live.
live.
Right.
It's not
We're
live.
live, but it's being recorded, will be on. Yeah.
Thankfully, might I add.
You didn't have to come up to the mic to have your picture.
Yeah, I brought my turtleneck just for that.
They didn't even put a mic up for it. Were you done?
No,
I didn't think
that was
so.
just a nice introduction, I appreciate that.
Okay.
I think over the course of time, what has occurred is minimal options have occurred because proper or many options haven't been suitably vetted. I think to the points that have been made here, and to your point directly, that there should indeed have been a committee set called the Town Hall Advisory Committee, which was proposed but never had anybody sit, because the existing town hall's vision is the vision we're looking at, which is the regurgitation of 2015 and 16 with a different name at the top, not police station, but Council of Aging. Nobody has done any vetting, and I submit to you, Joyce, that you do have pull and juice and influence by this vote. When you say yes to this vote, this floor plan will be extrapolated right to the plans that are presently online for the town hall on top. The select board will in fact vote for that plan, and we'll be at annual town meeting next spring, voting on this plan, which is nothing more than something we rejected in 2018 with a different name on it. And unless you step up as a board and say no, regardless of the floor plan, temporary or otherwise, but unless you sit down and say, bring us some other options, I ask you, what options have been presented to you in the last 5 years?
But Jeff, what reason do you give to refuse it. It's already cost a lot more money because you refused the police station and that. Now you're gonna refuse this if it comes up at town hall for money. It'll be 10 to 12 million. You're not gonna vote on it, yes, or you want us to take time away from what we're trying to do?
See, now that's pushing a view seen since 16 and not yet properly vetted. A committee hasn't sat down to address the combined needs. We rejected combined needs, and now they're asking to come to combined needs again, and you're jumping on that ship. We're saying that there should be vetting done between to decide if there can be. If it takes a year to vet it, then that takes a year and some monies. But the same monies that they're spending repeatedly to regurgitate this with a different ink and a different name on the top is a problem for a lot of citizens. And you're saying, oh, we want it just because this is the easiest thing to do because it's 10 years down the road and the money won't be here.
Don't put words in our mouth.
This was just said.
It's just fact.
But no, it isn't just fact.
It is.
No, because proper vetting done prudently can be done in a manner that expedites the situation by the nature of the meeting. The fact they don't want to meet and push forward, this is the problem, Cindy. This is the problem, Joyce. And the fact that you're backed against the wall with but one choice in your face.
I'm not backed against the wall.
The committee is back against the wall. What other choices have you been given in the last 5 years for a location for Council of Aging? Any?
Well, my common sense tells me, my head, my brain, after thinking, going everywhere and looking and contemplating, there is none.
No, see, that's not vetting. That's you thinking about it and
No.
hanging around.
No.
That's not a committee vetting it, Joyce. And that's you hopping on board. That's exactly what we're trying to avoid in this town. Autonomous leadership. We're looking for ground-up input, not top-down slicing.
All right, this is more of a proper discussion to have with the Board of Selectmen, Jack.
Right.
No, it starts
I know
here, Bill.
I know you're focused on the vote here.
It
All
starts
I'm
here.
saying is if we
create the momentum.
If we put some contingency on this in a statement that says we approve the space needs as depicted, but we want you to consider this in your vetting of other possibilities. Doesn't that open the door?
That's it.
I can't direct them to
I
say.
know, that's why I say they have to figure it out. If that means rejection of this, knowing that it's still knowing that it still exists and we can go back to it on a moment's notice, if that's what has to send the message that I submit to you, turn it down now and let's start the drawing board today.
We've already said.
Let's bring Evelyn's motion to a vote, please.
Before we do that, can I just, 1 second?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm Mike Doyle, 6 Morgan Ave. One of the things my neighbors are concerned about, we just went through a almost 2-year construction period, okay? And the thought of another major construction on the corner of streets that the butcher's very concerned, it's got the Newburyport Bank concerns, but it's also got all my neighbors concerned. It's like we just got through it, okay? And we do not want another major project, $11, $12 million starting up. And the fact that the town hall wasn't there for years, okay? Wasn't at that location for years. That was the Grange Hall, okay?
Right.
The town hall wasn't there for years, so the fact that we have to build it there is, I think it's ludicrous. Because if you sit in that parking lot, just sit there some Saturday morning and watch the traffic coming out of the bank, coming out of the butchery, coming down, it's horrendous now, okay? And it's only gonna be worse if you have that many more cars.
Can I just make a point about that?
Yeah.
The town hall and the council on aging, not open on a Saturday.
All right.
So I don't want there to be any mistake that
No, all right.
you're going to be creating traffic in your neighborhood.
Come Monday morning.
Mike, please, on a Saturday.
All right.
I'll let you speak, I'd like to speak. I just want to make it clear to everybody here, I understand. What I think the board here is trying to do is come up with space that's appropriate for the seniors in town. We service people age 60 plus. There's someone in this town we just gave the Boston Post game to who's 99. That's a wide swath, about 2,400 people in this town. And we are currently in an elementary school classroom where on the last day of school on Thursday, for 10 solid minutes, we listened to music over the loudspeaker. celebrating the kids having their last day of school. It's awesome. If we were having a yoga class, if we were having other activities, it's very interruptive to the program that we're trying to provide. All we're looking to do is do something that's going to benefit the seniors in this town. We're not looking to stick it to the Morgan Ave residents. We're not looking to make it, cost the residents of this town money. We're looking to provide, if we can stick to the agenda,
Can I finish?
we're looking to provide an appropriate setting for the council on aging.
Can I finish my?
This meeting is getting a little bit.
Can I just finish what I said though? Okay, it's not sticking it to, it's not sticking it to, let me finish.
I've heard this, Mike.
But she didn't finish what she just said, made some accusations.
Oh,
She said sticking it to Morgan, I never said that. I just said, we've had enough. Okay, but the fact of the matter is that we haven't vetted this whole occasion. We haven't looked at anything else since day one. And that bothers me.
Something to bring up to the select.
Mike, you're on the select board, Mike.
Right.
Why can't you help to get this vetted in other ways?
I was-
okay? You're asking the board of
No,
directors
I will- like
to
I
tell the
said,
select board to
we
vet
will-
it, and you're a member of the select board.
I know that. But I'm just saying, like I said, every time, I've asked and Jerry's asked to have the things on the agenda. This was asked on the agenda and it was turned down. But Jerry and I cannot get anything on the agenda, period.
All right, so tomorrow night, space needs is on the agenda. Only space needs, not location, on your board, on your agenda tomorrow night. Okay?
It was just added.
All I'm trying to do is to craft
The space.
something that says this floor plan is acceptable space-wise to us, but the board is not saying, we're not saying High Road has to be the place, the only place. We're saying, please, you can vet it, and you can form a committee, and people can contribute to it. That's what I think would
Hopefully we will.
politically,
Hopefully we will.
and I'll be there tomorrow night, to,
sir, you've already spoken.
I have not
want you to-
spoken.
Oh, you haven't?
Fred Thurlow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fred Thurlow, 26 Marsh Ave.
Yes, Fred.
You know, you people are hung up on money. I know that sounds kind of funny for me, but you are hung up on money. But if you take out your plot plan and look at your plot plan, you have building, parking, and nothing else. You have no outside space. I think seniors would like to have some outside space. There is none on this plan because you're trying to put too much on one site. And in doing so, they still can't get the parking, so they gotta get 10 spaces off-site, which isn't right. And that's a good deal of walk from here for seniors. It's not right. You don't have the space. There's just no space on this site for both.
True.
There is a small area of outside space there for the council on aging.
Yeah, they'd like a little garden, a little place to play
Okay, so-
cornhole or something.
So that should be vetted by this committee or group.
Well, you're
that looks at
talking about
place.
satisfies your space needs.
Drop
It
that.
doesn't really.
Drop the plan.
Closing questions right now. We are going to continue with our meeting. I really understand what you're all saying, but it's, the argument you need is with the select board, not us. We're just fulfilling what we were asked to do, and now we're going to move it on to them.
I'm gonna ask for a special request, Leslie Matthews, 111 Main Street.
Hi.
We've gone for some amendments, so you're changing the language on what is going to be presented tomorrow. So that language has to be changed for the select board and presented in.
I'm not going to change the language. I'm going with this, what this says, and we're going to.
You're the only
That
one
you
there.
asked for amendments.
Oh,
There is a motion on the table.
I know, we're gonna vote on it now. I understand, I'm trying to vote on this amendment by Evelyn, but I can't seem to get there. So we're moving ahead, and we're going to vote on Evelyn's amendment. Do you want to repeat it, Evelyn?
Sure. I believe the motion of combining the town hall and COA needs more discussion, study, and investigation, which is what Bill was saying. I move the question be postponed and be referred to a committee comprised of the expansion committee, member of the select board, and volunteers from the community to look at all aspects and be more informed to present a valid discussion to the voters.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's now take our vote. I'm going to start with Jerry Dorr.
No.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Evelyn?
Yes.
Joyce? No.
Joyce can't vote, she's chairman.
Of course I can vote.
Robert's rules, only to make or break a tie.
Oh, all right, I'll be quiet then.
No.
No, so it's,
2 no's and 2 yeses.
It's a tie.
do you know Robert's rules?
Yes, now you can vote.
Now you can vote.
Thank you. Sorry, I've been doing Zoom meetings and not live ones. I vote yes to break the tie. That's what I'm here for. I broke the tie. All right, so that, let's go back to our,
You voted yes with Evelyn and Jim.
You just voted.
oh, I'm sorry, no.
No, too late.
Now we only
It's on record. Wait a minute.
It's on record.
You voted yes.
It's on the film.
well, you had me all shook up. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not used to being abused.
You did vote yes.
I know, but I'm taking it back.
I
I
can't,
don't-
it's not done.
You gotta, you
I don't think, according to Robert's rules, you can do that.
Okay.
reconsider.
Only Damon
All
can.
right.
You submitted it as an agenda item, another meeting has
The
to
person
take
who
it.
voted
Another
in
5
favor
years.
can recall. So somebody who voted yes would have to recall it.
Right.
All right.
So
Jerry, will you recall it so we can?
she
go-
voted
I voted
no.
no.
Oh, okay. Oh, nobody that voted yes is going to recall it.
That's right.
Right, got me.
So the amendment goes forward into the motion that we were considering sending to the selectmen. That's what happens. So
And then what do the selectmen do?
they can do whatever they want with it. They vote on it, not us.
Okay.
So the
But the
amendment
language
goes
has to
in.
be changed now,
Correct.
and it has, you're probably gonna have to go for a continuation.
But we have to, it has to be on public record, we have to have, it has to be posted for us.
Yep.
And I don't think there's time for tomorrow night,
You have to 48 hours.
48 hours, so.
Yeah, so
It has to be continued till,
this won't be discussed at their meeting tomorrow because of this
Okay.
amendment.
All
That's
right.
all.
All right, and then you clarify what it's gonna be.
But actually, site is not on their agenda tomorrow night, it's space.
Space, correct, but,
So,
right.
So space could
Sorry.
be discussed,
Space can be discussed, but not
not
the
location.
full, right.
So can we take another vote with the space?
I think you
To
voted
do
on it
what?
already.
We already, I mean, it was an unanimous approval of the
Okay.
space.
All right, I'm done. Thanks. Let's
Well,
continue.
no, because you still have an original amendment, you still have an original vote out there. Evelyn
Right.
sent a amendment
That's right.
to
Okay.
the original vote.
Okay.
So now we have to have her amendment into the original vote, and then we
Okay.
vote on that.
Okay. Go ahead, Ed.
I thought I already reserved this.
What's the original amendment? What was the original motion? No, that's the amendment.
Further
I'll read
consideration
that.
Yes.
to
Okay.
be taken.
Here's glasses.
Can I make a motion to
Proposed,
adjourn and get together in another meeting? Because learning on the fly is probably not healthy or legal here, frankly, you know? No offense to Janine and all of our best efforts here. We're stepping a lot on each other, and I don't think anyone's necessarily qualified to make double vote decisions, take backs, and the
we're not
rest
doing
that's been
that.
discussed.
We're doing that.
We're just
not
discussing
doing-
Robert's rules,
Okay.
which I do know,
Yeah, oh no,
I mean-
I agree, I agree, it's just we're on a,
which Jerry also confirmed.
Yes. And even, you know Robert's rule too, huh? Right? Yes. Okay. The motion was the proposed Newbury Council of Aging and Town Hall building for 25 High Road. Two renderings dated April 9th, 21. Preliminary floor plans, Council on Aging on main level and town offices on upper level. and a preliminary site plan dated March 26, 2021. All plans by Contact Architecture vote will be taken for an approval to move this proposal forward to the select board.
With the amendment.
And the amendment is a postponement of this for the combining of the town hall and the COA for more discussion, study, and investigation. And we will postpone it and refer it to a committee comprised of the expansion committee, members of the select board, and volunteers from the community to look at all aspects and be more informed and present a valid discussion to the voters.
May I ask a question? If somebody that is going to come in from the outside of the government as a volunteer, will they have to come in front of the select board and put in a proposal for their appointment?
That I believe, I'm not certain, but I believe that once the selectmen,
Do they have the ability to choose whomever they want, or is it
I
people
believe
come in
they
and have
do.
to be vetted?
I believe they do. We would hope it would be a diverse group that would answer to the needs of the voters.
But when they had the building committee, didn't they ask for resumes? I think they asked you, Tony, for your resume, because you volunteered.
Exactly, and
So they went through
Also, we're
some
gonna
process of looking at paperwork, I guess.
Right.
But I know I
just
sense
like
it's at
anything
their
else.
discretion, I think.
But, you know,
Yeah,
like
they
even with the
make the
master plan
appointments.
coming up and everybody's appointments are about to run out, we all were requested to put in
Continuation.
continuation for our appointments. I just don't know, is it just a personality thing, or is it something that people should get up and explain why they feel they're best qualified for this role?
That would be
That's
up
a
to
good
the
question for the
selectmen,
Board of
I think.
Selectmen, because they're the ones that
They're the
appoint
one
the
that
people.
They don't let me
But I would encourage folks that are interested to send a letter to the selectmen. And this is an important thing. This is for our seniors. And we've been kicking it around, but we want to do it right because we don't want to be in a position as we were with the police station. I think if a lot of this could have been done earlier, I think the voters need explanations and discussion. I would like to see a selectman be available during the week, during the daytime, when the elderly are away, and be available to come in and ask questions and make comments. And the selectmen don't need to have the answers. Just let the people come in. Sit here, let the people come in and say, I think this, or I think that. And just take notes, and then collectively have the selectmen get together and the committee, whatever way they, and just listen to people. I think a lot of things could be avoided if people had a chance to talk.
May I ask you, the way the original amendment or the original ask is in number 1, does it, the way I was just hearing it from you, is it actually combined per town hall and council of aging building? Isn't that the way that just read? It in fact ties the two together, is that right?
Yeah.
So if you endorse that, number 1, you're endorsing going forward with a common complex.
That's one option.
So that you need, I believe you would need to reject number 1 outright and go with the accepted vote of the recommendation of Evelyn's vote. As I believe this is what we're trying to accomplish,
I think that's
right?
entirely separate. That's just from the board. It's not, nothing to do with the selectmen. It was just our board approving the layout.
And he already separated it just by saying it's the space we want to look at,
But
not
the
the
words,
location.
but the words overcome Bill's recommendation when it says directly what Bill reads, which
That's
is.
the second item that we're talking about now is what you.
Right.
Is that what it
I
says
mean,
directly?
to me, it sounded like, based on Evelyn's amendment, to take it to a committee to do vetting, I would say that kind of neutralizes
Yep.
what we're talking
What you're
about.
talking about.
Yeah.
We're not saying, yes, you have to do it, select board. We're saying, I would vote yes and say with Evelyn's amendment, let's vet it to the committee, or some way vet it,
Yeah, so.
rather than just say we
So
endorse
as I
the combination.
read Evelyn's,
Yes.
she's moved it, that this vote be postponed, so that's what happens.
Yes.
So, it's no. All right, so we're done.
Yeah,
That
for
comes,
now.
yeah, yes, we're done.
Yeah, we can do it again,
It has to be
I mean, it
separated
can come
here
back
and
up
now.
later, but,
right, yes.
So-
I'd like to continue on now with, I think you're good. It's not going anywhere, so we have other things on our agenda to take care of. Yes.
May I, Tony Matthews, Main
Hi, Tony.
Street.
Yes.
This is a major undertaking for the municipal town.
Right.
When they were gonna build the police station, the selectmen put a group together of an advisory committee to vet out, to build the police station. Council on Aging is in the same boat, and they haven't seated anybody as an advisory committee. The town hall hasn't got an advisory committee, building committee.
Well, hopefully this will take care of it.
This will give them time to put something together, so you can get a good plan together, hopefully.
can I,
What was the expansion committee that came up with
right,
this?
That we were studying the needs that we needed more
Space,
space.
space.
And.
Strictly on space.
Yes.
Space, yes, and we, and how it was not good with no space and what we couldn't do for the seniors.
Right,
In-house only,
right.
Which they should have.
derived in-house. Right,
So,
because
but
it was two
that was
reports,
just
one
three
all
people
in-house,
from the board.
and then one submitted.
It was
She
no
needs
one from the
business.
community.
No.
correct, it was a strictly in-house.
All right. And it was
It was all
specifically
volunteer.
not, okay, it was specifically not opened up to anyone else?
No, it was just a
I don't
fact finding.
Okay.
What do you
It
need?
wasn't even, the selectmen didn't even,
Okay, maybe the word committee threw me off, because
Right.
it said the expansion committee, so, okay.
Wasn't the outcome of that meeting that the select board said to go through and have someone,
based on the
Based
in-house
on this,
report,
they
went to that,
they
right.
came up with this, space needs study. That was the select board's recommendation, I think, right?
No,
And this-
I don't think so.
Well, yes, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was with the architect, as you were
It
saying.
was.
Yeah.
It was done by Harrison Abbott, Context Associates,
Oh,
same
okay.
people, Chuck Shaw.
What was the date on theirs?
That was done in February 2021, after your meeting.
Yep. All right, so the next article on the agenda is review of the Council on Aging expenses and donations since last meeting.
So, what I have done, I spoke with the, from take one and pass it around. I spoke with the town accountant and Joyce, you and I had a conversation.
Yes.
Instead of going through expense by expense for each thing that I've done, this is a copy of the expense
Oh,
report.
thank
That's the
goodness.
most, that's the most recent one. It's actually since July 1st through, I think, last Thursday.
Okay.
So that lists for you everything with each different account. So you'll see our regular expense account, you'll see our Elder Services COVID Relief Grant money in there. All the different accounts are listed at the top, you'll see it, and then in the little gray bar, you'll see the account, and then each thing that we have, that I spent money on, you'll see.
Right. Thank you.
So you guys feel free to review that. If you have specific questions about something that I've purchased, let me know, and I can certainly, instead of going through
Yeah.
each individual,
Cindy, will
expense.
these be all posted on the ClearGov?
I don't know if, I can ask the town accountant if the expense accounts are posted, let me ask that.
That way everybody in town has the opportunity to.
I would think it's
review it.
public record, so I can find out.
Thank you, Cindy.
As far as donations, I did just want to go through those.
Okay.
Okay. So donations have been, I don't record the donations that come in for the Friends, but 2 newsletters ago, when we sent out our newsletter, we had a little flyer in there from the Friends looking for support. and they keep getting donations trickling in. Separate from them, we are receiving donations. We do a monthly grab and go meal. Some people will just hand us some cash when they come to pick that up. Some of the take-home activity kits that we've been doing, when people come in to pick those up, they're handing us cash as a donation to the Council on Aging. We are offering to make a photocopy of people's COVID vaccination card, and then we have these vinyl sleeves that you can keep the original in. That's another way people are coming by and seeing us and handing us donations. So Pauline Mahoney, Avril and Ray Merrick, and Alan and Mary Fisk all handed us cash donations for $25 and $4 each. Michael Boreski handed us a check for $100. We took him in the van to some medical appointments that he gave us. Quite a significant donation. Heidi and Stephen Fram sent in a check for $75. Again, just a general donation. Moss Quinlan, he was in to pick up, I think, a vaccination sleeve. He handed us $20. Alba Goldthorpe handed us a cash donation for $10 when she took a van ride. And Linda Jackson gave us $20 in cash, again, when she stopped by to pick up vaccination sleeves. So
great.
It's been, people have been very supportive and given donations to the Council on Aging. So those are all recorded as well. I would think that would be a public record too.
I'll make a motion, we accept the Cindy's report of a financial report.
We don't have to approve this then.
Okay.
Okay, but thank you. All right, so how about your update itself? Did you have more you wanted to
So
share?
outside of those two things, the June-July newsletter went out at the beginning of June. A little under 1,900 newsletters were mailed. To be perfectly honest, I used the wrong mailing list this time, so I think some people might have got double newsletters, and I apologize for that, but I'm working on that process. Something like 92 people get it via email. We have it go out to the library. We keep copies at Town Hall. We kind of put them out in different places. So if you can think of other places you'd like me to put copies, I'm happy to do that. Our Friends Board Chair lives over at Caldwell Farm, and she takes a bunch and puts them in their mailroom. I'm pretty sure I have everyone covered there, but, and we also put it on our website, and I throw something out on Facebook so people know. Next two grab and go meals. One is scheduled for June 23rd, which is this Wednesday. It's bone and ribs, mac and cheese, vegetarian baked beans, and a dinner roll, and you get a little dessert and a carton of juice. We also like to do a little gift with these. So this month we did, it's a little water bottle, clear water bottle, and then a copy of a map with local hiking trails. So it's nothing huge, but just a little extra thing that we put in the grab and go meals. Is different every month. So we're working on what we're going to do for July. July's hot dog and corn on the cob and potato salad. So we'll come up with a cool gift to put in with that one. Programs, we started in-person programming. So it's very limited right now because I got the go-ahead to do in-person programming after I sent the newsletter out, and it takes time to schedule things. But we did a yoga class at Mantor Field. We have a couple of canopies that I bought. The DPW sets up the canopies for us. Even though it was stifling hot the first day, there was a beautiful breeze. That Mantor Field is beautiful, tons of parking. There are bathrooms there that I have the code to get in. And with the canopies, it was this beautiful breeze. It was really nice. So we had one person come the first week, 3 people came last week, so we'll see what happens this Wednesday. But if it's, I know the weather's going to be bad tomorrow, so if it's really bad, we can pop into the little field house there so that they can have the class there. In July, we're doing a senior stretch and swing class. Again, the plan is to do it outside, so people can be under the canopies. We're trying to utilize space outside of where we are. I know the kids aren't in school now, so the interruptions of the overhead announcements won't be a problem, but weather always comes into play when you're doing anything outside, so we like to have a backup plan. So that's a great in-person. The last of the theater workshop individual performances, I don't know if Stacy was here, I think she stopped by. Stacy Fix is the director of that program. It's working with students from think it's 3rd through 12th grade. They are in a theater program. They've done individual performances. They go to people's homes. There's like a handful of them. They do a little performance. They did it over at Oak Ridge, I think, wasn't it? I think we also went to Quaker Hill too.
Yep.
We went to Newbury Village, so we caught a good group of people in those, but we've also gone to individual homes. And the students do a little performance. They give a little goodie bag of sort of self-care items, and off they go. It's maybe 15, 20 minutes. But it just a little pop of entertainment and interaction, and then off they go. And that was really great. So that ended June 5th was our last performance with them. We're hoping to reconnect with Stacy again in the fall and do more programs with her. This Thursday, I have an outdoor watercolor class with Bill Duke. We had 6 spots, and all 6 spots are filled. We're going to try and do that outdoors, again, under the canopies. DPW will come and set them up for me. If it's stifling hot or really breezy or whatever, it's not good, Bill will let me know. We'll just come inside the Council on Aging. I'll have the room set up, so that won't be a problem. And then through the Cultural Council, I had booked it's a hip-hop dance chair exercise class. This woman had reached out to multiple cultural councils in the area. I went over to the Salisbury Council on Aging to watch it in action to see what I thought about it. And it seemed really great. She had something like 15 people there. So I am looking for another space outside of where we are. I don't think I can have 15 people in a circle, the way that our space is set up right now. So we do have all 3 of us office spaces in that room as well. So I'm looking for other town space, whether it's the library or what. I will keep you guys posted, but I am looking to do things elsewhere. We have a lot more virtual programs for June and July. Again, Gordon College Center for Balance, Parkinson's Foundation, more yoga, more sort of cooking instructions through Mass Councils on Aging. There's a lot available to us through MCOA, as well as through Mass Access, which is funded through the PEG program. So we can go in, and I just put in a keyword and I pull up different videos. I think we did one for Cape Cod Ragtime Festival. It was just really cool. But to have something music and then something educational, something exercise, like we're trying to put a varied amount of things on the cable channel. And we're going to continue doing that even after COVID, because I think we're reaching a lot of people that we weren't reaching before. Whether they don't want to come out, whether they can't come out, we just want to be able to touch as many people as possible. And if their cable TV station is the only way that they're going to get our interaction, we're happy to continue to provide things there.
Cindy, I have a question. Is there any way that you can keep track of how many people are watching?
No, I don't think I can. I wanted to ask Ethan and Matt about that to see if there is a way, but I don't know as though there is. But we do get people calling to say, oh, I did that yoga class, it was so great. Oh, so that's really great when we get feedback like that. Otherwise, I have no clue. Potential in-person programs. We talked about Peter Hall. I do have, and you'll see on that expenditures list, there is some funds that we had received from the Newburyport Society for the Relief of Aged Women. They donated $2,000 to, I think, 3 councils on aging in the area. What I would like to do with that funding is have a couple of luncheons. I'd like to rent PETA Hall and have the luncheons catered. I've reached out to them at PETA. It's something, I want to say it's something like $200 to rent the hall for the weekday. But I'd like to rent it. We, set everything up. I'd obviously be looking for volunteers to help us with stuff like that. But I'd have a catering company, prepare the meals and serve it. And I just want to try and draw people back out. People might not be comfortable yet. And again, my newsletter already went out, so I'm looking for the next newsletter, which is August, September, to schedule things for then. Hopefully people will feel a bit more comfortable and willing to come out. But we're going to really promote it. This is a nice, it's a big deal luncheon. It's not just, something. So I want to use the funding for that. If we can get 2 out of that, that's great. Maybe I can squeeze a 3rd. If not, we'll use the funds for some other program. Other things that I'm thinking about, I talked to Chris Howe, who does our yoga classes. I want to talk to her about doing more in-person yoga. There's another exercise instructor that we can reach out to. I was thinking of Curious Creatures. If we did something in August and make it like a grandparent-grandchild kind of a day where you come with your grandchild or something, a child and you could touch and feel these, they do all kinds of things, lizards and spiders and snakes, and it's cool. But I was thinking something different, you know, and then having some kind of snacks or whatever afterwards. Again, our space wouldn't really be the greatest for it, so I'm working with Tracy Blaze to find other options in town that we can do things. One senior had stopped by regarding activity kits, and we got to talking. She's very involved in the tiny house movement. Built her own tiny house from scratch, and she actually does presentations. She's written a couple of books on it, so she was interested in maybe doing a presentation. So I said to her, what if we put it in our next newsletter as a, hey, we have this person who's very knowledgeable, are you interested in downsizing, that kind of thing, to just kind of gauge some interest. And if people call us and say they're interested, then I'd certainly love to work with her to have her do a presentation, whether that's at the library or whatever. I reached out to the Gordon College Center for Balance. There was a really good program, from what I understand, that was done at the library maybe 2 years ago now. So I spoke with a gentleman there. He's on vacation this week, but I'm going to throw some dates at him to try and do like a presentation. And then monthly, I believe, he can come and do like a fall risk assessment or like a balance assessment.
That went over well, I think that.
So I think he said there was something, he was surprised too, there was something like 30 people that attended that. So again, I'll look for space that would be appropriate for that. And then if we hold something monthly where we have people sign up, where they can come in and he can do an assessment, he and his colleagues, so that would be cool. So we're working on that. And I'm going to again reach out to the Mill River Winery. I've been talking about this since before Janine was on the board, trying to get a wine tasting, so we're still working on that. The activity kits go like that. As soon as we send the newsletter out, I mean, people call us on Friday morning, we're not there, they're leaving voicemail. I had a voicemail message this past time at like 7:30 on Saturday morning. I'd like to reserve this. So I'm looking to maybe increase the numbers that we do. Because they go, so the hummingbird kits were a huge hit this time. So I was going to reach out to the gentleman who's at the, I want to say it's the Bird Supply. He's at the Rotary. I wanted to talk to him about what's something more appropriate for now that fall would be coming for the next grouping. Hummingbird seemed perfect for the summer, but I don't want to do hummingbird kits for, you know, that's really not going to be appropriate. So again, something to just give people something to do if they're not coming in to see us. But I'm trying to elevate what we're sending out. It's not, you know, 100 of these silly little popsicle stick things that are going to break in a day. You know, I'm elevating what we're sending out. It's just in a lower number, which is frustrating for some people, I understand. The Book of Me, I did 2 of those. It's a self-guided, like an autobiography. It gives you all kinds of questions about yourself. It's a great thing for you to have for your kids, your grandkids. I know there's a million questions I have about my grandparents that never got answered, things from when they were a child. So I only did 2 of them to kind of gauge interest, and a ton of people called about that. So I will be redoing that, but I'm thinking of a program related to how do I write my memoir? Because you might think you know how to do it, and then you go to sit down and you're, oh, sorry, what will I do? So that's another thing. These kind of things sort of lead into something else. So.
You should have a program on how to write your obituary.
Oh, wow.
Seriously.
There was a thing in the paper this week. There was a senior section. And there was
I'll look into it, you know, and if we
Peterson did one year.
Could I add one thing? There's a woman at the library, Diane Foreman, who does offer the courses, the writing courses, and they're based on memoirs. And so Jean would know how to contact her.
All right, I'll call Jean. Thank you, I appreciate that, because I think it's a big, the fact that the book was a big seller, I think people would be really interested in that. Thank you.
I've been thinking of the same thing.
Outreach, I just wanted to touch, let you guys know, I didn't want to get into details, but Janet Del Mare, our outreach coordinator, is working with Deb Rogers at the health department on a couple of outstanding issues regarding some seniors. So Deb will bring issues to us, and Janet is really quick to get involved and resolve things. So if anyone has if you know of someone who has an issue, or you know of an issue yourself, please feel free to reach out to us. We do our best to try and connect with the right people, whether it's through elder services, through the health department. We do our best to try and help the seniors resolve their problem. It might be a financial issue. We've worked with several different local agencies that are willing to donate funds to help people. So please let us know if you know someone, or send them to us. We're happy to help. Transportation, we have now 24 NEAT drivers, which is awesome. Because we had way more before, but COVID really knocked a lot of people out, obviously. With transportation, whether it's, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with NEAT, it's the Northern Essex Elder Transport. It's volunteer drivers. If you're interested in helping out driving seniors, you can reach out to NEAT, call me, I can tell you who to reach out to. They have a whole training program that they go through with you, and then they set you up as a driver, and then I can reach out to you and say, hey, I have a woman who needs to go to her dentist appointment on Friday, can you help her out? And it works awesome. There's really not a lot of options for people in this area. Obviously, there's no public transportation.
Is there a location limit or how far they can drive somebody?
It's up to the driver. So I have someone who has said, I will not leave Newbury. I have someone who says, I'll stay in this general area. I have someone taking a woman into Beth Israel to
that was
drop
my
off for her
question.
surgery. I have another woman who took someone to Leahy, Burlington. So it's all in your comfort level as a driver. Whatever works for you works for us, works for NEAT. But the more drivers we have, I think I have 4 rides right now sitting in the system just waiting to be picked up by drivers. 2 are Boston, and I think 2 are more local. But it all depends on what people's availability is, or I'm away from vacation that week, you know, it's that kind of thing. So, but it's awesome, and the more drive, we always put it in our newsletter, we put a little advertisement from NEAT, and it's just to let people know we can help you get a ride, or if you want to be a driver, let us know. The van, we've had, I think it was 4, we did 4 round trips in May. 3 were to medical appointments, and 1 was to the hair salon. Tomorrow is our first day going back to grocery shopping. We've advertised it in the newsletter for a long time, and no one's taken us up on it. We finally got 1 call. So right now I have 1 person, but hopefully that will increase. I think through COVID, people found a resolution to their grocery shopping. It was a necessity, they had to. And they might feel comfortable continuing with whatever they've got going. I think for a lot of these folks, it was more of a social engagement to get out and go to the grocery store. They weren't coming back with bags of stuff. It was a few things here and there. Just get on the van, you go with your friends, you go to the store, you get out. So hopefully people will start feeling more comfortable, but we're doing that every Tuesday. The theater workshop that I was talking about, who did those little presentations, they did a public service announcement video for us. It's airing on Channel 9. 2 of the students are actually brother and sister. Did this whole presentation about the van, and you know, it's got the blue racing stripe down the side, and it's got bench seats, and it's all really funny kind of, but it's they're saying, you know, it's available, and they're here to help you, and give the Council on Aging a call. It's just another way to get out that we have the van and we're here for you. So that's airing on Channel 9. I believe it's also on our website. And the program coordinator position has been posted. We're still accepting resumes. I currently have 5 applicants. I've booked 2 interviews. I've written messages out to 3 people. So if anyone knows of someone who's interested in a 24-hour program coordinator position, we are looking actively. And the only other thing I wanted to mention was I sent you an email, Joyce, about maybe we can review the mission at some point. We have a very long mission statement. And I took a strategic planning course, and one of the things that the instructor was talking about was your mission statement and your vision statement, which we don't have a vision statement, but our mission statement is really long. I'm wondering if we can, so maybe that's something we can talk about in another meeting.
Cindy,
Yes.
this is my first time meeting you face to face, but I have to tell you, I am very impressed since you have come on board. I think we have seen more activity happening in the last 6 months than we had in years. And I got to commend you for it, especially through difficult times like this.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jerry.
We thank her, She's the best. So thanks for your presentation. And now I just want to mention on the Town of Newbury Council on Aging bylaws, we haven't heard back, have we, Evelyn, from the town clerk? So I just gave those that didn't have our original bylaws copies of them. And when the new ones come, we will definitely get them to you. And on the Elder Emergency Fund, can you let me know, Cindy, how that's doing? Do we need
So
any-
I believe Tracy's out of the office today, if you want to take one and pass it down. This is, I asked for the template of what the town is supposed to use for policies. So
Yeah.
this is the template, and I put in the Elder Emergency Fund. The other thing that's attached on the back is like a request form. So let's say someone calls, they speak to the outreach coordinator, she fills out that request form with sort of details about what the issue is and what funds are needed. And then I would present it to you as the board. Now, what is in there, the main part of that policy is that we are looking elsewhere for funds first. The Elder Emergency Fund is like last resort kind of a thing. So that's, you can certainly review that, let me know if you have any additions or changes, and then I can update it. And then I asked Tracy, because on the template she gave me, it had a line for town administrative signature, so I'm assuming our policies would be the same. So I think once it gets reviewed by you as the board, I would bring it to her. So review it, let me know if you want to make additions or changes, and then I can do that and then bring it forward to her.
Just a quick question then. This policy is the one we already kind of saw
Correct.
already, okay.
Right, so it's just me putting it in the correct
Cleaned up.
format, yeah,
Okay,
in the
all right,
correct format.
yeah.
If I could just add one thing, that the money that's used to fund the Elder Emergency Fund
Yes.
is from contributions.
It is, I think I put that under, in this section.
I just said it to the public.
Okay, yes, it is,
It's not taxpayer money.
No,
that
no,
comes from
it's
real
all
estate
donations,
taxes,
yeah.
it's donations.
All donations.
Okay, is there any other business that anybody would like to bring up or discuss?
Cindy, last time, I think we talked about new applications for members of the Council on Aging. And have you
For
heard?
the board.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you heard from anyone?
I actually heard, I meant to say that, I heard from one person, Carol Rice, of High Road. She was interested in becoming a member of the board, so all I did was pass that email on, and I believe the board is reviewing all of that tomorrow. I was trying to convince Stacy Fix, who's the director of the theater workshop. I think she's very community-minded, loves the elderly, and I think she'd be a great addition. She's quite busy. It's not really something she could do right now, but if you think of other people that are interested, let me know. You can have them reach out to me. All we need them to do is write a quick couple of lines. I'm interested in becoming a member of the Council on Aging Board of Directors. This woman sent something about her, a little bit of her history, just so they knew who she was. And then I just passed on to the select board.
Because I ran into someone coming out of Quaker Hill doing a visit, and they told me they had sent an application but hadn't heard.
An application. If you want to talk with me after, I can.
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's no as far as I'm concerned, there's no application process. That might be once it goes through to the select board.
Well, it says to download. On the website,
Okay.
It says to download the application if you're interested in serving on a committee.
Okay.
And then there's Susan Grillo, you'll be hearing from Susan.
Okay. You had said she might be interested.
Yes, she said she was.
Okay, great.
So if there's no other business, I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 2:15. And the next meeting is the 19th of July, the third Monday of July.
Need the motion.
Right, yeah. Okay, so we'd like to I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
So moved.
Second.
Get that. You weren't invited.
She's not invited.
Yeah, she doesn't.
So everybody said yay, we're adjourned.